disappointed. I think Oprah's become a major divider in our country. And I think, frankly, she should be ashamed of herself. And you know who else should be ashamed? Fox. Because I've seen Oprah on Fox about 50 times making the same statement. And I think Oprah should be ashamed of herself to say that. She should be ashamed. She knows me. She wanted to run with me as a vice president. She was going to be the vice president. She wrote me a letter. It's in the book. And now she goes and makes statements like that. She's a divider. And Barack Hussein Obama is a divider too.
Those on Epstein's list and P. Diddy's list are in serious trouble, and I strongly believe Oprah is one of them. I've spoken about her for a long time, and it's time we face the truth. Oprah is not for us. She is an agent of the devil, and I make no apologies for saying it. Oprah does not stand for the people, the truth, or for God. Everything she does aligns with the devil's agenda. When Ice Cube spoke out about her, many were shocked, thinking, no, don't talk about Oprah. She's our hero. But she's not a hero. Oprah is a puppet of the elites, used to further their agenda and promote the devil's work. If you don't believe me, listen to Ice Cube discuss Oprah in the same way Donald Trump has spoken about him.
I've been excluded on Oprah, you know.
On Oprah?
On Oprah, yeah, I've been excluded. Yeah. They don't like that I'm, you know, an independent thinker. I'm not part of the herd. I'm not part of the go along to get along gang.
It's so freaking mean to me. I was in shock.
I'm going to ask you this, and it's embarrassing for me to ask you this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Are you a virgin?
How could you? I couldn't believe it because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. And she pretty much reprimanded me.
Is your skin lighter because you don't like being black?
So, like Monique, why is she canceled? I had to revisit that because it was like, it didn't make sense to me, babe. I'm like, so what did she do? She said something you didn't like? So she didn't work for 13 years after that?
Right. And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their fucking club. What I want them to do is to stop working against us. Stop doing that bullshit behind the scenes that we know you're doing.
It's easy to be fooled from a distance by these celebrities, largely because they only show us their good deeds. It takes those around them to expose the real truth, and it seems like Oprah Winfrey's time is up as many people are beginning to expose her dirty side. We all know Ice Cube to be one of the realest in the music and film industries. He has kept it 100 from the start of his career to now. Even Tucker Carlson was shocked to hear that Oprah doesn't like Ice Cube, considering that both Ice Cube and Oprah are some of the most respectable figures in the industry and in the black community.
I would think you'd be the person Oprah would want to promote. I mean, you grew up in South Central, you were successful at a young age, you have dignity, you say what you think. Like, I thought that was the goal.
Me too. You know, I don't know what it is.
Ice Cube isn't the only one with a problem with Oprah. 50 Cent doesn't like her that much, and as we know, 50 Cent is an individual not scared to confront his enemies.
I just don't want a problem.
No, I don't think you
I don't ever want a problem. But when they say they want a problem, I say no problem.
The legendary rapper didn't only call her out, he went as far as naming his dog Oprah. Savage. Rapper and actor 50 Cent has been critical of Oprah Winfrey on several occasions. One major point of contention was related to her involvement in the documentary On the Record. 50 Cent expressed his displeasure with the documentary and criticized Oprah for her association with it, suggesting that she was targeting black men in the entertainment industry unfairly.
Thank you, Miss Oprah Winfrey. No, baby, I wasn't blackballed. I was fucked up by some niggas who had no balls.
Oprah maintained a close professional relationship with Harvey Weinstein for so many years despite knowing who that monster was. Harvey has faced sexual assault and harassment allegations, and for many people, she was complicit. According to the actresses who have accused Weinstein of assault and harassment, his behavior was no secret. Oprah, as an insider in the business, had to have been aware of who this man was and still chose to work with him. Of course she was. Oprah was well aware of who Harvey was, and she ignored it because she knew being cool with Weinstein could possibly get her accolades. Weinstein also used his relationship with Oprah to lure in women.
When people show you who they are, why don't you believe them? Why must you be shown 29 times before you can see who they really are? Why can't you get it the first time?
Let's talk about how she and her monster friends reduced Monique's life to an ending sequence of agonizing torture. To this day, Monique doesn't want to hear Oprah's name because of what she did to her. I mean, that was pure evil coming from a woman that many people, especially women, look up to for positive inspiration. If you don't know the story, this is what happened.
Oprah Winfrey called us up, and she said my brother wanted to come on the show and talk about him molesting me, and he wanted to tell other parents how to look out for molesters. My brother Gerald is a charmer. So my mind thought was, because she said, do you want to come on? I said, I don't want nothing to do with that cat. I said, nigga, I know it's up to a scam, but people can change. And who am I to say he hasn't changed? It might really be different. So I don't want to get in the way of that. I just don't want nothing to do with it. She said, if you don't want me to have your brother on the show, I will cancel the show. I shared with her that me and my mother was not talking. I shared with her we were in a really bad place. I shared with her I was hurt and, trying to figure this thing out. She never said my mother was coming on that show, because had Oprah Winfrey said, I'm gonna have your mother, I would have said, shut it down.
Oprah allowed Monique's parents and her brother, who sexually molested her, to gaslight her on national TV. And in the interview, Oprah also acknowledged that she was aware of the beef between Monique and her mother at the time. Monique confronted Oprah about going behind her back and exploiting her trauma, and Oprah said she would check into it and never called back. Monique then confronted Oprah the next time they saw each other in person, and Oprah issued a half-assed apology. Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels then engaged in a smear campaign labeling Monique as difficult to work with because she was not okay with Oprah exploiting her trauma in ways she didn't approve. Monique's career suffered a lot as a result.
I disagree with the way Oprah, Lee, and Tyler did it,
cool.
But I love them.
I'll give you that. Now, guess what we need to do to move forward and fix this?
Come on.
These people owe you an apology. You owe those people an apology.
Oprah invited John of God on her show, and she could not emphasize enough what a powerful and blissful experience that had been for her, especially when she saw him cut a woman's breast without anesthesia. John of God was a Brazilian healer who supposedly cured terminally ill people. In reality, he was a con artist who took advantage of sick and desperate people's pain. In addition to being a monster who made a fortune defrauding people by posing as a spiritual being, John of God was a serial rapist who was accused of raping 600 women. The first woman who publicly accused him of rape was mysteriously found dead. Allegedly, she committed suicide, but her family insists that she was murdered because she exposed him.
You describe yourself as a spiritual medium. What does that mean, a medium?
Médium, eu sou espiritualista.
As a medium, he's a spiritualist. He believes a great deal in God, and he practices this mission already 55 years.
According to Oprah, John of God was a simple farmer whose faith in God cured sick people. In reality, John of God was incredibly wealthy. He owned dozens of properties in Brazil, including 2 vast ranches and a private jet, and he ran a sex farm. He killed his sex slaves 10 days after they gave birth, and he sold the babies on the black market. He even raped his own daughter when she was 10 years old. He was detained without bail, and he is still in prison. His global fame exploded after he appeared on Oprah's show, where she stated, "People around the world credit John of God and the spirits that worked through him for many miraculous healings." After John of God was arrested, Oprah stated, "I empathize with the women who have been victimized, and I hope justice will be served." Many of the women John of God assaulted were introduced to him by Oprah Winfrey's show, but she never interviewed any of John of God's 600 victims. Oprah funded Leaving Neverland and interviewed the 2 liars, Robson and Safechuck, who accused Michael Jackson of sexual misconduct in their attempt to secure a big payday, in order to deflect attention from Harvey Weinstein's scandal and the pre-hearings of his trial. Robson and Safechuck were both determined to be perjurers by a judge who dismissed their lawsuits and reprimanded Robson for lying under oath. Oprah used Michael Jackson, who was completely vindicated and cleared on all counts, to cover her friend's evil secrets.
Why, when your mother asked you in 1993, the first trial, why did you do the same thing that Anthony did and so many other people have done? Why did you deny it? Because that felt like a great opportunity to say, well, yeah, some of the same things have happened to me.
I did not testify out of thinking I was doing something good or knowing that what he did was bad. I was afraid of being caught. It was on the news 24/7. I mean, it was just being broadcast, and there was so much attention on it from the world.
So by that time, you thought of what you were doing as a bad thing, or
No.
just as a thing that you all did, but you had to keep it a secret?
I didn't think of it as good or bad. It was that old sort of wiring of, if you're caught, your life will be over.
Oprah's intention was to demonize Michael Jackson, tarnish his legacy, and use him as a scapegoat for the real predators in Hollywood who are her real friends. This is not all. There is much more that Oprah has done that will shake your faith in humanity. To me, she's not only evil, but she deserves to be locked up together with her friends in jail. There is no way she can be friends with so many evil people without being part of the horrible crimes they committed.